Who are you eyeing from the Super Rugby competition, apart from the Drua players, of course?
That's a great question. This is probably going to be a little bit controversial because I'm working on something at the moment. Look, there's Fijian players that want to play for us. Unfortunately, they can't. So Jacob Neepkins down at the Highlanders, he's a fullback. We had a bit of a brief chat to him. Jonah Nareki had a brief chat. They'd be keen to play for Fiji. Their contract with New Zealand doesn't allow it because of a clause that they've got to be available for the All Blacks. So, that holds us back because players are saying, "Yeah, we'd like to play, but that we can't actually sign them." So, I'm sort of working with our CEO here to sort of have a conversation that says, when do those players actually? When can they become available? Because at the moment, every player playing in New Zealand, from Tongan, Samoa, Fiji, and all the European guys, they're all available to play for the All Blacks. Doesn't matter what nationality, And even now, I'm seeing that, like Timothy was at Highlanders. He was at Moana last year. Tavatavanawa. He's come to the Highlanders, but he's going to pursue an All Blacks. We couldn't pick him anyway. So New Zealand get to pick players from 4 or 5 countries. We're just saying we just like to have our Fijians play for Fiji. At some stage, it'd be great for them to say he's not going to be an All Black, so we'll actually release him, and that would be a really good thing for New Zealand rugby to do. For us anyway, for Fiji, to be able to release a couple of players that they haven't picked for 5 years. Probably won't pick for the All Blacks. It'd be great for them to say, well, actually, they can play for Fiji, and we'll still honour their Super Rugby contract, because that's the thing the players are worried about. That if they come and play for us, they may not be able to get their Super Rugby contract honoured. So just working. I'm still working through all that. I don't know. I'm not 100% on the black and white contracts, but that's how it sits at the moment. So, I'm in the process of, I'm sort of preempting now, so I better ring Chris Lendrum tomorrow now before this gets out.
My concern is that it from our perspective, it just looks like it's bullying, because if you are not, you're likely not choosing these players, but then you lock them down in this clause, and maybe allow, or if they are not picked.
Yeah, I think now it's a situation like, I'm not sure it's a bully at the start, because a lot of those players chose to go there to play for the All Blacks. They're in New Zealand, they're playing for the Chiefs, they're playing for the Highlanders, playing for the Hurricanes or whatever, the Blues, and they're giving themselves an opportunity to play for the All Blacks, and no one can begrudge them of that. Because it's a great team to be, if you get selected in the All Blacks, it's a great honour. But there comes a time where you haven't been selected after a number of years, that you're then like, well, you know what, I'd really love to play for my country. And that's the case we're talking about. We're talking about maybe 2 or 3 players that have been down there for 4 or 5 years and haven't been selected, possibly won't get selected. And we'd love to have them and consider them for the national team.